What is up, my shard ninjas? Welcome to Argos Anonymous. My name is Adam, and today we're going to take a look at another deck profile. So this is going to be Raine as our champion for this, and for the spirit, we've got the spirit of the bird. It's the green bird from Ascension. So here we go, Raine and Strigra. This is one that I piloted today at my LGS. We had about, I don't know, 12-ish people show up, and I was doing really well all the way to the end. We've got this new guy who's like a born card player. He's super good, and he just started playing. His first event was like last weekend, and when I played him then, he was so on point with the rules and the mechanics that I knew my time was limited. I said to him last weekend, I was like, oh crap, I can tell that I've got to beat you today because I don't think I'm gonna be able to keep winning against you. Lo and behold, the guy pilots a solid air deck. It was Eaton Kite airships, and he just rolled through the tournament. He's so good. We're gonna get his deck on here too as a separate video, but this still did well. You know, it took on Matile and it took on Hawaiian Kite, and it did really well. So this is a Raine Strigra. Let's just get into it. So why do we pick the bird here? Well, okay, the Dirty Bird is there essentially because it's really nice to start the game with Corona, especially in this deck, because although we have some removal in this deck, we don't have a lot of hard removal like delayed poison or those, green kill spells and stuff like that. So we need some, and so we're going to be soul bursting our spirit using Corona. And with the spirit, we get to start with this on top. So we start every game with Corona. And then as you'll see later, we have three eccentric visitors in here, so we can keep doing it again and again and again. And it just gives us a lot of guaranteed kill removal. So there's our little package right there. This is a Blazewalker deck. So Raine with Blazewalkers, of course, is a nice way to go. We have three Blazewalker rookie arcs that are obviously, they're in there for that classic Blazewalker combo of expelling rookie arc and then dealing 1,000 damage to a target unit just to remove pesky little things. We're going to have three of the Blazewalker Leia, whatever you say. She's our way to recycle our fire units. Once they're all getting expelled, of course, Leia's a nice way to get them back into the deck so we can keep using them. And then we've got the Omega 2 of Arc the Soaring Blazewalker. Again, this is a nice way. You can use this Omega unit ability to put two fire units from your expelled zone back into your hand. So if you've got a couple arcs out there, you can bring them back into your hand and you can knock them out. But also, you've got Bone Scavenger in this deck. And so when you've got units that are dying, you can Bone Scavenge, expel your own units from your discard, right? And then you can bring them back into your hand with this. So it's a nice way to get some recursion. Also, as an Omega unit, you can attack right away. So if you play this on a Blazewalker, it's almost like quickness. You can get like a nice attack in. So he's really nice. Of course, we have Raine from Revelations, the set. He's a secret rare in Revelation. He's a nice little commander Blazewalker. And then we're playing with GZ, the new Squire. This guy was a lot of fun today. GZ is a guy that when he arrives, you can discard a fire card from your hand or exile a fire card from your hand, and you can exile a green green card, air card from your discard. And for each one of those that you do, you put a counter on him. If you remove one counter, he gets quickness. And so that was actually helpful quite a lot, just to be able to throw him down and exile like a green card and then get quickness, right? But if you have two on there, you can blow up one of your towers and then blow up one of your opponent's towers. And it doesn't have to be a face-up tower. Unlike a lot of other tower effects that have to kill a face-up tower, this will just kill any tower. And so I did find myself sometimes being close to the end, and I could like play this guy and do the abilities, blow up a tower, and then I guiding winds him back to my hand and like play it again and blow up another one. They got my tower effects and their tower effects at just the right time, and it was really it was a lot of fun, careless, reckless tower shredding chaos that came out of that. So that's our red unit package, Blazewalkers and the Squire. Our red spell package, we've of course got Entreat the Blazewalkers. This is a really important spell. Entreat the Blazewalkers, it's only cost one, and you get to expel a Blazewalker from your deck and then put one from your deck into your hand. So the way you're using this almost always is near the beginning of the game, ideally, or whenever you need it. You cast it, you expel one rookie arc, and then you bring the other rookie arc into your hand, right? So that does 1,000 damage to something. but also it gives you fodder for Raine, because then you can exhaust Raine to expel a unit from your hand, and you've got another rookie arc in there ready to do another 1,000 damage. So Entreat the Blazewalkers is great. Really great spell in here. If you don't manage to kill something straight out, you know, some bigger creature, and you're only able to do 500 or 1,000 damage to it, that's where Assault of Ashes comes in. We've got 3 of those. This is going to kill any damaged unit. So we have 3 of those in there to finish off anything else that isn't quite dead yet. Now we go to our green package. So Strigra, however you say it, the bird gives us 10. It's got an affinity 10 for air. So our green package, the spells are going to be 3 Guiding Winds, bounce something back to our hand and draw a card, which we use in a lot of different ways. You know, you can play a GZ, blow up a tower, or you have quickness. You can play it with quickness, attack. This is in the later game. Bounce it back to your hand, play it again with quickness, attack. Right? That's kind of fun. Or you can bounce something back to save it from dying. You've got Eccentric Visitors in here. You can bounce back and play again to do a couple of soul bursts. You can bounce back the Omega unit to get that again. You can do all kinds of stuff. Then we have 2 Vabriel's Gift, because if you're playing green, you might as well have some tutors in there just to search for any card. You've got 3 Omega Magic Kaze. This is just, it's a handy card because your opponent is going to think you're tapped out. And Kaze, if you have 2 or fewer towers remaining, it costs 0 to play. So usually your opponent thinks the gates are down, and they come at you, and you Kaze, and their thing deals no damage, and then you get to draw a card from it. So it's just, you just keep them in your hand until they're free to play, and then they end up helping you out a lot. And they replace themselves. So it's like a free card that replaces itself. So you should just have 3 in your deck, basically. Then, of course, we got the Dirty Bird, Sylphia. This one, everyone should know this by now. The Dirty Bird, when you play it, you just choose an odd or an even cost. Your opponent places all of their units with the chosen cost on the bottom of their deck. So this is a really rude card to play. You can tutor this up with Vabriel's Gift, and after you play it, you can bounce it back to your hand with Guiding Winds and play it again, just because you feel like being a jerk. So then, to complement Sylphia, we have Garga, where you just name a cost and you bounce things back. Garga has the potential to have quickness. So again, this can be a finisher if played in the proper time. Which I didn't get to do today, but I've done it in the past. It's been nice. Now we have our Argent package. So for Argent cards, we do have 3 of the Mutation Reparbloom, because obviously the big combo with Raine is you can exhaust Raine, and Raine lets you expel things from your hand, and then you deal damage to target unit equal to the number of cards expelled. So what you can do is you can exhaust Raine, target Reparbloom, expel 0 cards, deal 0 damage, but because when he's targeted, he farts out 2 little copies of himself that look like this, every single turn, well, every cycle of turns, because you do have to exhaust Raine to do it, you can make copies by yourself, which is really fun and bothers your opponent. So there's our Reparbloom. I guess we'll put him up there. Then, because you have to play with him, we've got 3 Bone Scavenger. So Bone Scavenger is our guy that just exiles cards out of the graveyard. Now, this is a really great combo breaker for your opponent's decks, right? You can exile your opponent's cards and prevent graveyard shenanigans. But also in this deck, it has the added benefit of you can exile cards from your deck, right? And then if you do that, or from your discard, and then if you do that, you can maybe, once they're in exile, you can bring them back in your deck with Leah, right? So you can like exile a GZ that's dead, right? You can exile your, well, I guess that is a Blazewalker, but what do we have? I think we have some Shamans in here. Do we have some Shamans in here? Where are my Shamans? Hang on a sec, I gotta find my Shamans. Son of a turkey. Oh, here they are. All right, so 2 more red cards in this deck. We've got these Ashborn Shamans. So you can, if these things are dead, you can scavenge them out into exile and then use a Leia to put them back in your deck, tutor them up, find them, whatever. It just gives you some flexibility. So Bone Scavenger is a really nice element in this deck. We've got these 2 Ashborn Shamans. So this is just a 2-cost 1,000 power unit. And this thing, whenever your opponent plays a spell or uses an ability, you can tutor your deck for a 1-cost fire spell. So since both of these are 1-cost, you've got 6 targets in here. What you'll find is that if you play this on turn 2, you're gonna get something out of it. Like maybe they'll cast a spell to kill it, or they'll use an ability of, I mean, there's just so many spells and abilities that are going to be flying all over the place that this guy's going to make sure you get and entreat the Blazewalkers, which guarantees you to get those arcs starting to cycle and working with Raine to kill your opponent's stuff. So he's been a really good card to have in this deck. Then we've got our play set of Eccentric Visitors. So this is a 3-cost, 2,000 power card that if you have 2 or more destroyed towers, so if you're down to 3 towers, right, you can play this and you can flip your spirit back up, which in this deck, the main purpose is to keep using Corona pretty much to as like it's basically a 4-cost removal. You know, you play this and then Corona costs you 1 and you get to kill anything again, which, yeah, it's a later game thing, but in a later game, there's some pretty big critters that are coming out, you know, so it's nice to be able to kill them. Last and, not least, but, you know, not the greatest, I threw a Lloyd in here just because, I don't know, there's some pretty good spells in here. You've got your Kazes, your Gifts, your Guiding Winds, and Treats and whatnot. And by the time I draw Lloyd, I've usually burned through some of them. And if you throw a couple of Kazes under him, it can really frustrate your opponent. I mean, they have to basically deal with Lloyd. Otherwise, they're dealing with all of the combined might of 3 spells that show up underneath Lloyd that are just sitting there waiting to get played. So Lloyd was a nice way to force my opponent to deal with something. And that's it. You know, again, it did pretty well. We played against Hawena Kite, and I took it 2-1. Hawena Kite did really, really well. It would be a tough match, but at least it could hold its own. Matile, of course, if you know how to beat that deck, we haven't profiled it here. Maybe we will at some point. There's a really sick combo Matile, but once you know how to beat it, then it's not so bad. But it was that air deck that just, oh my god, shredded it up. I mean, he was really taking it to town. Air has really come back. You know, everyone is so funny. Everybody wanted the bird freed when Sylphie was banned. Everyone's like, free the bird, free the bird. And then as soon as they unban it, you know, then the Noisy Few come out, right? And they're like, this is broken. It's like, where were you 2 weeks ago when, you know, 99% of people wanted you to free the bird? Anyway, I think the bird's been okay. Yeah, you definitely have to deal with it. I mean, it really adds something. It's kind of a pain in the butt, actually, but so far it's okay. And in future sets, you know, there's just going to be more ways to deal with things, so I think it'll be fine. Anyway, this is our Raine Strigra Blazewalker. I don't know, what would you call this? Blazing Wind? Is that weird? Nah, it might be kind of weird. If you think of a good name for this deck, maybe type it in the comments. But it was fun to play, and I just wanted to share that with you. That's all I've got. Enjoy. Argos out.